was saying in the last video, we're going to be making the rear deck for the 96 and then doing some fiberglass work, getting the speakers going. That's going to be about it. So here's what we got going on. We've got obviously the spot where the old deck went. I'm not sure how we're going to mount it in there yet. Probably just screw up through these little tabs, drill holes through them, you know. It's the original, I believe. I don't know. I'm assuming. And then we're just going to trace it onto this piece of wood. And then cut it out. And then I'm not sure what we'll do from there, but we'll see. All right, let's get to her then. All right, now that we got that traced, that's junk, pretty much. I mean, I could put it up just in case, but just cut that on out, and we'll go from there. I'm not the best carpenter in the world, so I'm not very good at woodworking. We got a little off track there at the end. That's all right, we can clean that up. I think it looks pretty good. Huh? Let's see. Look at that. It's the same dang piece. Perfect. Now I guess we'll just see if it fits. All right. Well, I don't know if that's gonna fit that great, but we're gonna see what it looks like from the bottom. Maybe I just don't have it lined up yet. Oh, I see. You off there. It's kind of getting held up by the cloth and stuff there, but looks like it'll be okay. Finagled it around a little bit there. And it does have this little gap up front, but that'll make it easier for me to take in and out, and this is still getting fiberglass on it, and it's the same size as that one, so I didn't like make it short or anything, so that's how it's gonna be. All right, now we get some spinker rings made up and all that, get those mounted, and then we can put our cloth down and get it fiberglassed, all that fun stuff. So here we go to that. All right, so these are the speaker rings we got. I ended up just using that to cheat. I actually already had these made before. I don't know where I put them at. I've had them made for years because I've been wanting to use them for something like that, and I just never did. Anyway, this one is going to be the one that sticks up. So it's the outside like this, and this is where the inside of the speaker would sit. So I cut this big enough. We got the ring to put on the outside so it kind of countersinks it there. We'll glue them together. And then when I do the fiberglass and everything, it'll look like the speaker's in and not just, you know, on the outside. So we'll get those cut out, and then we'll move on to doing the ones for the tweeter. And the tweeters are definitely going to be a little bit more tricky. They're like a square shape, and if I remember on the back, I had to cut like notches in them because I've made something for them before, but they ruined. I broke them when I took them out. But we're gonna cut those out, like I said, and then we'll do that. All right. Video cut out because, well, it was too hot and the phone overheated. But now it looks like it's gonna rain, so that's great. But we got these cut out. I am no carpenter. We can get these all cleaned up, you know, once the fiberglass and stuff's on there, so I'm not that worried about it. Nobody will know but us. Well, a lot of people will know, hopefully. But it'll look fine. So we're gonna try to get the other ones cut out, hopefully. I mean, it looks like it's gonna rain. You know, we'll come back and we'll cut them later. How about that? Yeah, we're giving it a shot. Get out of here, grasshopper. Perfect. Well, kinda. Alright, as you can see, we got our speaker rings. This will be glued onto here. I'll be using Gorilla wood glue that I've had for some while now. And then we've got this 6.5 Scar loudspeaker. I've got two of these, obviously. And that'll fit in just like that. We are going to clean it up, you know, a little bit so it won't be so noticeable. But yeah, that'll fit in like that, and that will be held up like that, hopefully. That's the plan. Looks good enough to me. Now I'm gonna grab the tweeter. This just doesn't seem like there's any way to get around the notch there. See? So, you know, we're just gonna have to do it like this on each one, lined up center. And that's just how they're gonna be. One there, one there. That's good enough for me. Well, that's where we're at for now. Now we just get the deck out, and then we modify that, kind of mock up where we're gonna want the speakers, and then it's fiberglass from there. All right, catch you when we start that. This is what I came up with. I just used a bunch of little wooden dowels and hot glue. This is all just to hold it up. And that's kind of what we're going with right there. So now we're gonna go check and make sure this fits in the car, and then we'll put the fleece on, staple it in place, and then you do the fiberglass. All right, we got it in the car. I think it looks pretty good, so let's see what you guys think here. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's ready to fiberglass. The mock-up looks great. That's gonna look pretty damn good, in my opinion. I like the location. Everything's looking good to me. All right, I've actually got to go get some fiberglass resin and double check and make sure I got enough fleece. But once I do that, then we'll come right back. We'll staple her down and get it all ready. All right, here we are. We've got the rear deck piece we did right there, and then I just got some fleece draped over it. I am gonna take it off, and we're gonna spray some glue down on the areas I want it to be flat, just to help hold them down. But the shape I'm looking for is probably gonna be a couple staples in between on this side, and then up and around, going out to the edge of there. You know, same thing on the other side. And then in between here, just the staples on this side, and then this pulled so it's at an angle. It's the plan. Well, and then obviously staples up through the front here. I think that's gonna look good if I do it like that. I mean, I could do it like this too, but I kind of want it to have a little bit of an angle. I don't know, maybe I will make that flat back there, and then just keep this side like that. That wouldn't be too bad. I don't know, we'll see once we do it. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna want it to look. I guess we'll just kind of, you know, let it fall together, and we'll see what happens. All right, I'm gonna set you all up over here, and then we'll get to that. See, I got a little off guide there. I probably should have measured and stuff. I didn't plan on doing that though, unfortunately. But that's what we got going on right now. So let's get this front knocked out. Alright, there we go. That's what we got to work with. We can clean this all up once we get fiberglass on it and all that. Maybe round this one out a little bit more or whatever we got to do. It looks fine. I might throw a couple more staples in a couple spots. But we got that. And then I want to flip it over and get it stapled to the backside and all that. So we're gonna go ahead and probably do that. Actually, something I want to do is staple around the holes, probably. Yeah. That one around the speaker holes. I forgot to hit the record. Sorry about that. Kind of self-explanatory though, same thing. Just go around where your holes are going to be, because we don't want this coming up and we want to know, you know. So basically we're just going to flip it over. I'm going to trim off some of this with a razor, and then we'll move on to the next step. Ready to go. And I know that's there. It's not that bad. We'll be able to smooth that out, like I said, once we start getting all the other stuff on here. Same thing with this edge right here. I might throw a couple more staples there, but we'll clean that up. That ain't gonna show anyway, so I'm not too concerned about it. But once we get that resin on there, this will harden up, and then we can move on from there, start doing fiberglass, maybe get the holes cut out, you know, stuff like that. But all right, I'll flip you back on once we get up to that part. All right, so we're getting ready to put the fiberglass resin on here. We're just using some stuff you can find everywhere, so just some Bondo fiberglass resin. I like to use these little graduate cylinders and put that cup in. Use these a lot in the medical field. You can buy them on Amazon and stuff. They work out great, I think. I like them. So we're probably gonna put, I don't know, probably 20 ounces in here. You know what, maybe we'll just start with 16. I believe it's 8 drops per ounce or something like that. If I remember. Oh, 10 drops. Start off with 12. We'll see where that gets us. Went with 12. Some gloves on. Oh, I forgot I'm going to need something to poke this. But I actually think I have a tube of this over in the garage. I lost count. Let's just put a little bit in there. That for now. We'll let that dry for a little bit and we'll see how it's all feeling. Maybe we'll put a little bit more down, but I think that should be good. We'll see. All right, so I've pre-cut some fiberglass and laid it down. I did this within some time in a different location because it kept looking like it was going to rain. says it's going to rain, but it keeps delaying every hour, and every time it looks a little bit better outside. So I don't know. I got this pre-laid out just for a first coat. I got a bag of some chopped in here. I don't know if it's going to rain or not. It's over there now, but it was all up over here. I don't know. Anyway, I got some chopped up pieces in there. I can get more if I need it, but I just want to get this down and, you know, get this coated first with one layer. And make sure you wear a mask, guys, if you're doing this, because this stuff is not fun to get in your throat. I've had that happen before. So I'm going to set you up and we're going to get to it. You guys kind of get the point. I'm just going to be adding fiberglass where it's not at, and then, you know, cleaning up some of the other stuff, and then I'll cut you guys back on once we get to the sanding. Alright, so here's what we got going here. Kind of just trimmed some small things off for now, but since this is small, I just put this router bit on there, just makes it level like that. I did this part first just to make sure it'd work. I could bust out the router, but this will be fine. It ain't like thick material or nothing. Just so I don't have to just go around and cut it. It's just gonna take too long. So I'm just gonna start doing that and then move on. To just knock back whatever frillies are left there, I just hit it with a torch and melted them back. Now everything else will just be done with sanding, so everything's nice and smooth. So that's good. Then there's a little spot that didn't quite get what I wanted there, but I'll just be able to put, you know, Bondo there and smooth that out. I just wanted to make sure this inside was clear, but everything's looking good. I might have to cut these little notches here, but that ain't a lot to get out. So we'll get to doing that. I'll get the sander out and we'll sand her down a little bit and see what kind of imperfections and stuff we got to fix, because we know there's going to be some. Alright, I got to take a break from this because my hands are all tingly. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't get too dark on me. But big problem, wish I would have got 80 grit. I thought I had it, but I looked and looked, I don't. That's what I'm dealing with. But I mean, it's coming along. I just got to get some of this stuff down more. I want it a little bit more level than that, and then just kind of cut off the air pocket spots, and then once it's mostly smooth,
There's like a couple air bubbles I want to get right here. Right there and there. That one's almost out. I could probably cut that one out. These aren't air pockets. But then I got to get something to get these insides. You know, like some of this stuff right here. I can round all this stuff back out with the Bondo. I'm going to mix it with the fiberglass resin a little bit to kind of level it. But then, you know, I'll get little spots here and there and it'll look good. But that's where we're at right now. Alright, now that we got it sanded down from our previous coat there, we're gonna mix some of this glass up with some filler, just so I can brush it on. So we're gonna go ahead and we're probably gonna use, I don't know, I'm probably gonna go about 12 ounces or so, and then I'm just gonna put some filler in there. Maybe we'll go with 8 to start. Just see how that mixes up first before we add all of our hardener. We'll go with 8 instead of that 12. Now, you know what, maybe we're just gonna do 12. What could go wrong? So we got 12 of that poured. No hardener yet. I just got this to kind of go. Not all these come with the blade, so you might want to buy a pack of those or just check if it's got one with it. Get this open. Make sure we mix this up real quick. You want to get all the sides and edges with this stuff. That can settle a little bit. And then once it looks pretty uniform and you got all the edges scraped, we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit in there. I'm okay with that. We're going to see how this mixes up. Make sure we get it all nice and mixed. And put that in here. Make it easier. And be careful with these thin cups. You're going to want to have something thicker in them because they can melt from the heat once everything's added and it's trying to cure. You know what? I want a little bit thicker than that. Got 12 ounces in there, so it's 10 drops an ounce, 120 drops. Alright, and then with the filler, you normally want like a little line across, like probably, you know, golf ball size or so, you know. Don't get too crazy with that. Looks like an okay amount. The more you got, the faster it'll harden, so you can kind of mix it up just a little bit less. Hope we didn't use too much. I don't believe we did.
we're gonna let that dry for a little bit, and then we'll come back and we'll get it sanded down a little, and then we'll add a layer of Bondo. And that's about what you should come out with. I probably should have used a little less hardener. It did dry it a little faster than I wanted it to. I kind of wanted to work with it a little bit more, but for the most part, it turned out pretty good. Basically, it's going to give me a better level surface to work with once we sand it down, and it fills in some of the imperfections I had that were clearly visible. To me, I don't know how well they show up on the video, but so that should be dried up here in a little bit, and then, yeah, like I said, we'll go around and we'll fix it up. All right, I'll catch you probably, what, in about like 20-30 minutes? All right, so it's been probably about 25 minutes or so. You can tell it's still kind of dry in here. It's got a little bit of a tack feel, a little less than, I'd say some like Scotch tape or something, less than that. So I just went around and kind of just flaked off little runs on my speaker ring ports here, and then kind of just knocked off sharp stuff, and just, you know, like stuff that was on the edge, just kind of just knocked it off, because once that gets really hard, it's just going to be harder, and that'll tear up the sandpaper real quick. But it's looking good. We got more thickness and smoothness where we needed it. So remember, before we had, you know, a chunk here from, you know, an air pocket, and, you know, a lot of that's filled in now. So once we sand and then we do some more Bondo on here, it's gonna take some good shape. And we're not gonna go crazy with the sanding. We're just gonna kind of level it out and get it more smooth, you know, and then continue. So I'm gonna flip you guys back on once we get that all sand, or, well, not once we get it, but once we start. I want to let it dry, like I said, just a little bit more. All right, so it looks like we could have some rain coming. So this has been sitting out here for a little while now. It's dry. I put some sandpaper in my hand and just seen how it was going to sand down. So I think it's good. I like it. We're going to go ahead and use the orbital. That's what I got. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll see how it comes along from there.
Alright, y'all get it? I'm sanding here. We ain't got to record the whole thing and time lapse it or anything. I think you kind of get the point. It would be going a little bit faster, but I'm using 120. I should be using like maybe 80. Probably 60 could go for a little bit. But that's what I got, and I didn't want to buy some more for no reason. I'll just spend more time. It's not a big deal to me. Alright. So I got it sanded up to where I wanted it. Kind of rounded the spots. All these spots you can see are just little low spots. Not much there at all, but they're there. And then that's what I'm going to be focusing on when I'm putting the filler on. I'm going to get some pretty much on every spot. But that's what the filler is going to do, is fill in these imperfections here. So it didn't really turn out the way I wanted. A little bit more in spots I didn't really want it, and it's not completely dry right now because, you know, it's kind of humid out, so it's not drying as fast as it could have. So I'm going to sand
this down a little bit, and then I actually had to go get more body fill so we could, you know, finish up. But it'll work. I'm just gonna have to sand it a little bit more than I wanted. Ideally, you want it to get as smooth as possible so you don't have to sand so much junk off. But I'm gonna get to doing that, and then hopefully, you know, I can get a little bit done before it rains again. So I'll cut you guys back on when I'm done sanding it, because you've already seen me sand it a couple times. Same procedure. All right, we got all that up. I'm just gonna be filling in all the little tiny imperfections with this glazing putty. Just put a little bit on your finger, wipe it. You know, like right here, for example. Make sure this is mixed up in the tube, by the way. You want to squeeze it and mix it. And then, boom, that's filled. And then we'll just lightly sand that. So I'll be doing all this, and then once I'm done doing that, we'll do some primer. All right, I got that on there. Next step would be to primer, and then to use some glazing putty in spots that I just don't see right now. And I noticed I had an air pocket right here, so I took my razor and I pressed it down to where I stopped seeing it soft, and I just cut the whole thing out. So what I want to do there is put some Bondo in there. I mean, this ain't body work or nothing, so it ain't gonna really hurt a whole lot if there's some Bondo right there. So we'll do that, and then I'll sand it down, get this thing all cleaned up again, and then I'll prime it. Now we're ready to get some primer down. Just some spray primer, nothing fancy. All right, this is actually a couple days later. I put a pretty big coat of primer on here. It's just gonna get sanded down. I'm gonna use some black on here to see where my high spots are. Just mist it on. .600. Heck, I got a few spots I actually want to hit with the 180. Like right here, it's a little rougher than I'd like. I don't want to spend forever with the 600, but I did hit this just a little bit with the 600 just to see what went on. But I'm gonna hit some of the rough spots with this 180 real quick. So that's where we're at. It's not perfect, so let's get this primed up then, okay? I just got done tossing the primer on it. As you can see, it's not perfect by any means. But like I said, I'm just gonna be throwing some bed liner on it and then painting it. This is what we went with for the bed liner. Ultimate Platinum. I don't know if it's any better or not. I figured I'd check it out because I've tried their other one they got, the step down from this one. And then they got a real cheap one. I don't know how well that one is. And then we got this 1K enamel. I don't know if it's any good or not, but hey, we're trying it. Woo, that comes out of there. All right, we're gonna let that dry, and then we'll go back. All right, it's been about an hour. That's been on there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this antique white Ace Hardware spray that matches the car very well, as you may or may not know, depending on if you've seen my other videos. But we're gonna put that on there. I'm pretty sure that Rust-Oleum makes this too, but I just keep getting it from Ace because I want the color to be dead on. So we're gonna put this on. And that is what it looks like finished. That is gonna obviously be screwed up a little higher than that, but it will be angled like that. I'll probably just turn this to this side. And the speakers fit in there like that. So
I'm still gonna do the underneath with, I'm just gonna spray that bed liner down there. But that's about all I'm gonna do. That's the only thing you guys aren't gonna be seeing here because I don't have time to finish it today. I'm just gonna do it later. Just mowed the yard, yeah. For anybody probably maybe complaining about that. There's always somebody that's that observant, you know. But I think it looks good. Oh, a little sweat there. All right. You guys take it easy, and hope I helped somebody out. Maybe encourage somebody to do better than I did. I don't know. But just those are the basic steps. You stick to that. You can take it as far as you want. You can get more detailed with it. Obviously, make it smoother than mine, but it showed up okay. All right, take it easy. Peace out.